VIP promotion sponsored by Luke Sports and Oxyfire. Live on VIPboxing.tv and via the social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter. Send us your tweets via the hashtag. Proudly present 10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the vacant English Super Welterweight title. The officials have been appointed by the Central Area Council of the British Boxing Board of Control. Straight in charge, sitting proudly at ringside, Mr. Robin Smith. Chief Representative, Miss Sally C. Timekeeper at the bell, Phil Morris. The three scoring judges at ringside are Phil Edwards from Preston, Mark Lyson from Anfield, and Terry O'Connor from Birmingham. Finally, when the action commences, the star referee in charge of the action, the world-class Mr. Steve Gray from Fleetwood. And so, people of Bolton, we may have lost championship football, but this is championship boxing! Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the blue colour shorts trimmed with silver. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stone, 12 pounds, 7 ounces. He presents an excellent record, 14 contests, 11 wins. 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout, 2 defeats, 1 draw. He comes to the ring as a former Midlands area welterweight champion from Ludlow, Shropshire, Craig Morris. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black colour shorts trimmed with blue and silver. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stone, 11 pounds, 5 ounces. An outstanding record, 15 contests, 14 wins. 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout and a single draw. Presenting from the Alex Matt Vaillancourt camp via here, his hometown of Bolton, the Quiet Storm, Jack Flatley. Mr. Gray with his final instructions, 10 3-minute rounds.
Okay, lads, if a cold break, take a step back. Don't throw any punches around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
Here we go then. The first English title fight of the night delivered between Jack Cohen and Jack Sellers. And this one has the potential to be even better. Jack Flatley and Craig Morris over 10 rounds for the English title.
I should say Morris is a really good test. Since the loss to Ryan Fields, he came back. A couple of fights later, we beat Ryan Martin, had the draw with Andy Keats, beat Chris Jenkinson, and then that fight with Scott Fitzgerald where we looked really good before being stopped in the final round.
Yeah, and that's something that Jack Flatley will take a lot of heart from, that, you know, Fitzgerald finally managed to get to Morris in the 10th round of that contest, and, you know, if things don't go Flatley's way early on here, there's still plenty of time in the fight for him. Nice sharp jab from Flatley, doubling it up. Morris coming back with a backhand of his own.
Yeah, he's landed 2 good backhand left hands there, Morris. Something to be vigilant about.
Yeah, speaking to Jack Flatley before in the changing rooms, and he's so relaxed. You wouldn't even know he was having a fight later on. Sat there with his feet up on the chair, just chatting to everyone. Nice uppercut on the inside. Real nip and tuck open into this first round. Morris landing a good backhand of his own.
Yeah, he's really dangerous with that straight left, Morris. It's something that Flatley's going to have to look out for, because he's been tagged already 3 times with that particular shot, and it's been the best shot of the punch of the round so far.
Yeah, interesting to see how Flatley can deal with that southpaw stance that Morris brings. Certainly another problem that Flatley's going to have to solve in there tonight.
And he's roughing him up a bit as well, Morris. It's a good start this from Morris.
Yeah, he seems to have settled in nicely, and whereas Sellers couldn't quieten the crowd down.
Again, there's that left hand. He's going to have to be really careful, Flatley.
Yeah, and that looks to be the shot from Morris, doesn't it? He's picked that a number of times early on here. Both men mixing it on the inside to the body.
Yeah, they both got down to it straight away in this one. No real feeling out period in this fight.
Yeah, usually in the title fights, you have a couple of rounds of, you know, settling in and seeing what your opponent brings to the table. Both men have started quickly here.
Flatley just trying to reset himself behind the jab to get his own right hand into the fight.
Yeah, and every time Flatley lands a shot, Morris seems to be coming back with work of his own. That was nice from Flatley, just to turn Morris and back him up against the ropes.
Yeah, it's a nice move, and he got himself out of danger as well and tried to land a clean shot of his own.
Real high-class opening round. This nice uppercut that from Jack Flatley. Morris again spoiling the work of Flatley when he looks like he's going to have a bit of success. Coming towards the end of the first round. Tight first round, but a good round for Morris.
Yeah, it's a good first round. I thought Morris won it. His straight left hand was the key punch of that first round, I feel. Some work for Flatley to do, but as we see in the slow motion, that left hand is a really good shot and something that Flatley needs to be vigilant about. As we see, Flatley landed a left hook of his own, followed by a right hand as the round progressed. So some good two-way action in that round already.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful, that backhand Flatley. He took it a couple of times early on there. You know, as the fight goes on, they'll start to have an effect. But you can hear around the venue, Morris has done exactly what we thought he'd try and do, and he just quietened it down a little bit in here.
As you say, it just took a bit of steam out of the crowd, that first round for Morris. I thought he nicked that first round, and a bit of anticipation in the crowd. They're just waiting for their man Flatley to really fire up, get into form.
That's better from Flatley, doubling up that jab.
Yeah, he looks a bit more assertive at the start of this round, but again, takes a straight left.
Yeah, and that lead left hand from Morris seems to be finding a home every time he throws it. Now, Flatley's looked quite good on the inside, hasn't he? Maybe that's something that he can try and do in this round.
Yeah, and it just takes away that left hand out of the equation as well. If he can stand on the inside and not get hit too much and land his own shots.
Yeah, Flatley just stumbling backwards, a little bit off balance. Oh, there's that backhand again that's landing from Morris.
Yeah, it's looking very good so far, Morris.
Yeah, Flatley's going to have to do something about that backhand because he can't keep taking them all night. High work rate from both men in there at the moment. 10 rounds is a long time in a fight at this pace. That's better from Jack Flatley. 4-punch combination landing.
Yeah, he picked the shots well there.
Well, Flatley's just showing glimpses of what he can do. Lovely uppercut again from Flatley. That lead uppercut seems to be working for him.
Yeah, and as you say, it's all on the inside, his success. Maybe he just needs to close that gap and work away on the inside where he's landed his best shots so far. And keep his guard tight, obviously, while he's doing so.
There's a big shot from Morris, and Flatley came back with one of his own. Both men taking shots. And Morris just keeps moving forward, doesn't he? Even through the shots that Flatley's thrown at him.
Yeah, no real feeling out period, as we said, in this particular fight. They've just both gone for it. Good work from both men there.
And you can hear the corner to the right of us. They seem quite hot. There's that left hand again.
And it's such a clean shot, that left hand, so when Flatley does some good work and then he takes one of those clean left hands, that's something the judge is going to be considering as well.
Yeah, and it leaves a lasting impression as well, that big left hand. Snaps the head back of Flatley every time it lands. A little bit of blood on the side of the face of Flatley.
Yeah, it's been a good pace so far in this first and second round, particularly the second round. They had to come in together a little bit there, and Steve Gray's pointing that out.
Yeah, the referee hasn't had too much to do in the opening 2 rounds here. Both men, even when they're in close, are happy to trade with each other. We come towards the end of the second, and another tight round to score.
Yeah, I think Flatley's had his success in this round. I think he's had enough success to just sneak this one.
Yeah, and if you're correct, that's 19 all on the scorecards, and we'll keep asking you to score as the night goes on. I know you keep a little scorecard. such tight fights to score these. You see the highlights, there's nothing to separate the pair. Every time one lands a big shot, the other comes back with one.
Yeah, there was one particular moment in the fight where they both traded straight punches as well, and as you say, it's been nip and tuck in that particular round. I just felt Flatley made some adjustments, landed some good shots, as we see there, with a little left uppercut inside. So I think Flatley made the adjustments necessary to take that round and get himself into the fight.
Yeah, and he's got to build on that now, hasn't he, going into the third?
But as we see in the replays, that head gets snapped back every time he takes one of those straight left hands.
Yeah, and if he can get out of the way of those backhands, I know it's easier said than done, but if he can stop taking those backhands, he's been quite dominant, Flatley, in there. It's just those big shots have swayed the rounds.
And now he knows it's coming, he knows he can either get inside to negate it or stay on the outside and slip it and try and land this on counter right hand or left up.
Nice left up from Jack Flatley. Morris coming back with an uppercut of his own. Good combination that from Flatley. You can hear the corner calling for him to move his head, and neither man have really done that early on. They're just happy to go to war as they trade on the inside.
Yeah, there's been knowledge to say real lead movement. If Flatley could move his head from side to side, he might take fewer left hands, but he seems to set out his stall and what he wants to do, and he's trying to do it to the best of his ability.
Yeah, double left up to the head landing. Both men are putting everything behind every shot they're throwing in there at the moment.
Yeah, as we say, the pace has been really good so far. Morris might be thinking back to that fight that he lost in the 10th round and thinking that he wants to give his all in this fight and not have that feeling of dejection again after losing late on.
Yeah, and it's a massive opportunity this for Morris, isn't it, to go back on the big stage. Just as we're talking, another left hand landed from Flatley, but he responded well.
There's another started the round well, this one, Morris. It's been a give and take round once again, but Morris has been landing some impressive clean punches.
Uppercut from Morris on the inside. Both men seem happy to trade on the inside.
Yeah, they're just going at it on the inside. I think Flatley feels that he's comfortable on the inside enough to engage that way, and he's not taking as many of the clean left hands to the head on the inside. He's just been getting some body shots whipped in.
Yeah, neither man's really been taking a back step.
And again, as you see, as soon as the distance develops between them, Morris goes and whips in a left hand again, and that was just a nice right up to the body as well of Flatley.
Yeah, Flatley's taking some big shots to the head in this round.
Yeah, it's another good round so far for Morris. Flatley must be just there having a look and trying to figure out how he can make this a bit of an easy night for himself and still get the win.
Yeah, it looks like if either man's going to win, he's going to have to dig in on the inside. A lot of this fight's being fought at close quarters. The head's coming close again. Nice shot from Morris again. Flatley responded. And every time someone looks like they're going to have the upper hand, the other responds. Good left up from Morris landing in that exchange. They're putting everything into this exchange, both fighters. Loading up with every shot, and it's dangerous doing that, isn't it, in a 10-round fight so early on?
Yeah, you could get to the point where both of them are fatigued about rounds 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're the rounds I think where if the stoppage is going to come, unless something dramatic happens earlier, they're the rounds we'll be looking to maybe see if the stoppage comes maybe around 7 or 8.
Yeah, and that's the case with the Scott Fitzgerald fight, wasn't it? Just looked like Morris starting to run out of gas a little bit towards the end. It's such a high tempo this that Jack Flatley's set, and could be part of the game plan this to make Morris work as hard as he is. Both men taking in big breaths of air in the corners.
And as we see from the replays, Morris, I thought he won that round. He landed some clean shots. Flatley landed some shots of his own, but I thought the better work overall was from Morris. He was making Flatley think, and as we see, that straight left hand was clean as a whistle and a really impressive shot.
Yeah, and in the whole round he landed one of those straight left hands, and that's kind of the highlight of the round, isn't it? And again, it leaves a lasting impression.
Referee Steve Gray was just in the corner there telling them to be careful with the head on Morris's side. Sometimes that happens when you've got two fighters who are just standing toe-to-toe on the inside of the head, sometimes bob together. Yeah,
they're paying a lot of attention to the top of the left eye of Jack Flatley. Might have a little nick on the corner of his eyebrow. What's Jack Flatley got to do to get a foothold in this fight and kind of dictate it?
At range, he's getting beaten at range because of that straight left hand. from the southpaw stance. When he stands on the inside, he's getting hit with some body shots, but having his own success on the inside. If he's going to box at range, I think he's got to be pumping out his jab constantly, but also using head movement, otherwise he's just going to get pinged with the left hand all night.
Yeah, and for Morris, it's a case of just firing that left hand in as often as he can.
Yeah, and I think for Flatley, it's a case of he's just going to have to grit his teeth and get through this one. Clearly, it's not going to be an easy night for him.
Yeah, and always on paper, this is a 50-50 fight. You know, plenty of people pick Morris and plenty pick Flatley for this one. Both men just standing toe-to-toe, firing away at each other.
Morris there with a jab as well. If Morris starts getting his own jab, it's mostly been left hands for Morris, but if his jab starts working as well, it's going to be tougher still for Flatley, who's just taken a couple of uppercuts on the inside as well.
Yeah, the uppercut seems to be working for both men on the inside. Flatley going to the body with both hands and then back upstairs, and you can see both men are feeling the pace in there. Difficult to see the pace staying like this for the 10 rounds. Nice left hook from Flatley there as they made their way out. But again, Morris lands that left hand.
And he landed a really nice body shot there as well, Morris on the inside.
Yeah, Flatley's taken some big shots in this round. And those body shots will certainly start to have an effect as the fight goes on.
Yeah, what they need to be thinking about as well, it's only the 4th round. They've still got a long way to go in this fight. I think at some point in the middle section, the pace will dip a little bit, and then we might see increase again towards the championship rounds.
Oh, there's that left hand once again from Morris in the corner. We're ecstatic with that.
Yeah, you can't keep taking that left hand. At some point, he's going to take one of those left hands, so he's going to put him straight over.
Yeah, and he's still not keeping that right hand up Flatley, even though he's getting tagged with that left hand.
And like you say, if the stand's not up and there's no head movement, he's just going to be taking that shot all night.
Yeah, another good round this for Morris. Come towards the end of the 4th round, 20 seconds to go. And despite the pressure from Flatley and the relentless work rate, Morris is just landing the cleaner shots.
Yeah, Flatley saying that's the situation where he's having to really dig deep to keep himself in the fight. Morris is in the same situation, but he's having more success. And when you're having success like he just had with that left hand, you're not going to feel as dejected or tired as your opponent.
Both men taking deep breaths on the way back to the corner there. Another Morris round.
Again, it's Morris. I thought he took that round, the slow-mo showing us Flatley landing a couple of shots, but there we go with Morris. Just working away on the inside, the two of them. But I think Morris is putting a lot himself into winning these rounds, but he'll be feeling much happier in the corner than Jack Flatley at the moment, I imagine.
Yeah, but surely they can't keep this pace up for the 10 rounds. It's been fought such a ferocious pace. Surely at some point somebody's going to have to give.
Yeah, as I say, I reckon this next round will be a frantic round again. The problem that Flatley has got is he's taking those left hands clean when he comes in, and a couple of times in that round when he was moving away, he was taking the left hand away with him as well. What he needs to be careful of, as I say, that he doesn't come out in this round or one of the rounds following it and take an absolutely banging left hand to the chin and go down and find himself in with a bit of a deficit on the cards.
Yeah, Jack Flatley very slow to get off his corner, get off his stool in the corner there. There's no doubt both men are feeling the pace in there at the moment. Again, Morris looking for that left hand over the top.
This is a bit better from Flatley. The round's only just begun, but he seems to have a bit more purpose to what he's doing in this round.
Yeah, he seems to be thinking about his work a little bit more now and just throwing shots recklessly.
I think the problem he's got as well is Morris has constantly got his lead foot on the outside of Flatley's, and that's why he can land those straight shots almost at will at times. Flatley's footwork needs to be better, I think, over the remainder of this fight.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key, isn't it? Always is the key when a southpaw and an orthodox fighter meets.
Yeah, big gulp of breath there from Flatley. Like we say, Morris has really set the agenda of this fight so far.
Both men are working the body as well on the inside, which is going to have an effect. It's going to slow the tempo down at some point, if it does get that far.
Yeah, as you say, the way they're fighting it this pace at the moment. Unless this pace slows down or someone starts to think a bit more strategically, then there should definitely be a stoppage in this fight either way.
Yeah, you can't see this going on for the whole 10-round distance. Both men firing away toe-to-toe.
Again, for a moment there, Flatley managed to get his leading foot on the outside, but he didn't really fire any shots when he had that brief moment where he could maybe have landed a clean right hand of his own.
Yeah, he's still trying to fire away with that straight right hand. Flatley's not managed to get it through so far.
Again, Flatley takes a little uppercut to the body as well. It's been another tough round for Flatley so far.
They're taking a big straight right hand as well, Flatley there.
Oh, that left hand again, I can see Flatley getting put on his back at some point with one of those shots.
Yeah. Morris just seems to be getting closer and closer, landing that perfect left hand straight down the middle. The crowd trying to get Jack Flatley going again. Now both men just standing toe-to-toe, firing away.
And Morris has just pushed him up with his shoulder as maybe a show of strength to Flatley. You must be feeling it really badly in there at the moment, judging by the lack of cohesion in his work in this round.
Yeah, there seems to be no pop behind Jack Flatley's shots anymore, as there did in the first 4 rounds. He's got to really dig in deep here, come towards the end of this round.
Every time he takes one of those left hands now, he staggers back a little bit as well, so he's really, really feeling it.
Yeah, it's been really good this from Craig Morris yet again.
So going into the midway point on this one, I've got it 4 rounds to 1 to Craig Morris. And as we see in the slow-mo, just a little lack of cohesion in the work of Flatley. He looks a little bit ragged. There he took a left hand as we saw in the replay, and he looks stunned every time he takes one of those left hands. And Morris is sat in his corner, he's listening to his team, and he looks very, very relaxed even though it's been a tough pace.
Yeah, such a ferocious pace in this one. Going into the second half of the fight, and we knew this is when it was going to be won or lost, the second half of this fight. Neither man was going to blow the other one out of there in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of work still to do for both men. Obviously the Morris corner, on my scorecard at least, I'm not one of the judges, is going to have the easy job in that between this particular rounds. I mean, Alex Matvienko at one point asked Flatley if he's okay, then gave him the instructions, so they know that he's struggling in there a little bit tonight.
Flatley just trying to explode out of the corner with some big shots. There's that left hand again from Morris though.
He needs a good round in this round, Flatley, I think. Obviously, I don't know how the judges are seeing it, but on my card, he needs to really establish himself in this round, Flatley.
And even if the judges do have it closer than you think he needs to get a foothold back in it, because Morris just started to dominate the last couple. The last round was close, but he seemed to just have the better of every exchange. And Flatley really digging in, landing a couple of big shots. He just can't seem to shake Morris off him at the moment.
Yeah, he really dug in there, Flatley. He just can't seem to get his right hand going at range.
And there's that left hand again. Just as Flatley looked like he was going to start throwing a combination, the left hand snapped in from Morris.
And like I said, every time Flatley takes one of those left hands, he just gets a little bit of ground. Bit of swelling as well under his left eye.
Yeah, it's certainly something to keep an eye on. If that opens up, could cause a lot of trouble for Jack Flatley. Oh, that's the big left hand again, snapping the head back of Jack Flatley from Morris.
I've not seen Flatley much in the gym, so I don't know if he'd be able to do it, but if he could turn southpaw, maybe just for 30 seconds, and just turn southpaw and throw a few jabs and see if that gives him the range. Yeah, I'd say I don't know if he's got the ability to do that.
Yeah, Flatley's really struggling with that left hand down the middle from Morris. And if you're in Morris's corner, you're just calling him to keep throwing that shot. Work for him all night.
Yeah, he's going to tell him that if he keeps doing this round after round, I think the stoppage is just going to come around in round 7 or 8. Flatley just can't keep taking these punches clean.
Nice right hand over the top from Flatley. He's really digging in here. That was a good combination from Jack Flatley. And Morris came back with a big shot of his own.
Yeah, he left himself open, Flatley, to land those punches. They were good punches with some impact, but Morris came flying back at him.
Yeah, and both men seem to be forgetting about defence and just throwing big shots at each other here. Big left right hook from Jack Flatley.
Yeah, as you say, defence went out the window thinking very early on in the fight, and now both of them are fatigued as well, so it's going to be even more difficult for both men. Although Morris at the moment will be feeling good because he's in the ascendancy. He took a good left hook and right hand from Flatley and just came back with that constant left hand of his own.
Big left hook again from Craig Morris, just sent Jack Flatley back a couple of steps, and he's really starting to unload it. Both men firing away big shots, and again the left hand from Morris put Flatley on the back foot.
And Morris is pushing him back as well. He's physically just pushing him and shouldering him off as well, but good shots there from Flatley.
And what a war this is turning into be. Both men landed huge shots towards the end of this 6th round. A tight round to score that one. Both men look exhausted in that corner. Still plenty of time to go in this one, of course.
Yeah, I was just seeing the replays, there were some good two-way exchanges, but I thought that Morris always finished the exchanges the stronger and always had the final word, so I thought that was enough around for him.
Yeah, it'd be so interesting to see how the 3 scoring judges are seeing this one.
And that'd be quite dispiriting, I think, for Flatley. He had his best round of the fight apart from the first round, and I thought Morris just shaded it.
Yeah, it gives Flatley something to build on though, going into this 7th round.
Yeah, like we said, that combination, that left hook right hand is a classic one to use against the southpaw. It worked, he just needed to double up on it maybe, or when he landed those punches, instead of staying in range, taking a step back, but moving his head to either side when he stepped back, so he wasn't taking a left hand on the way out.
Yeah, Alex Matvienko giving Jack Flatley his final instruction before we get underway with the 7th round. He sold a lot of tickets, Jack Flatley, so there's plenty of support knocking around the arena for him tonight. And there's that left hand again from Morris, yet again going straight down the middle.
Yeah, and Morris is also throwing his own jab now at the end of combinations, a punch that we've not seen him use too much over the course of the fights. He's been so successful with the left hand.
Whatever happens in this one, credit to both men. It's been a huge effort, this.
Yeah, damage under both eyes for Flatley as well. As you say, Flatley's shown a commendable amount of courage in this fight, and it's been a tough one for him so far. Oh, there's that left hand. That's going to stop the fight, I think, unless Flatley makes the adjustments that he needs to make.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest one of the lot, snapping over the top.
And there's not too much steam on Flatley's punches in this round. I'm wondering if that previous round was his last stand.
There's a right hand from Flatley. It's just what the corner were calling for. Really willing him on in this corner to the right hand side of us. He's still using a lot of upper body movement, Flatley, though, which is always an encouraging sign. Nice left uppercut and right hand from Flatley. And he's still showing glimpses that he's in this fight.
Yeah, he's showing flashes of what he can do. He's just not done it consistently enough. That may be a lesson for him moving forward if he does indeed lose his fight and someone's just lost their gum shield.
Yeah, timeout call. And mouth guard of Jack Flatley came out.
Gives Flatley a few moments as well in that round of getting on off a tough round for him. Timeout sponsored by Luke, not Madeira. The other one.
And both men biting down on the gum shield now. A minute to go in this 7th round of 10 scheduled for the English title.
And the problem with Flatley as well, he's been really flat-footed throughout this fight, and that's just made him a sitting target in many respects. There's not been too much lateral movement. He's decided to stay flat-footed, tried to engage, but it's not worked for him, so maybe he needs to go back and readjust and think of something different. Maybe get up on his toes and pop out the jab for the round and see if anything works for him.
Yeah, it's a similar fight to the Scott Fitzgerald one in some respects for Craig Morris, though. So as long as Flatley's still in there, he's still got a chance. But you've got to say Morris looks like he's on his way to that English title at the moment.
Yeah, as I say, Flatley's not going to have the energy, I don't think, to get up on his toes and move around. So what's he going to do? He's just going to have to start absolutely digging his toes into the canvas, hammering in as many left hooks as he can and trying to throw the right hand. But at the moment, he just can't get any traction on those shots.
Oh, there's a big left hook from Jack Flatley. I'm surely the gloves touched the canvas there. The referee's waved the fight on. That's a controversial moment. We'll have to see that again at the end of this round.
Yeah, and the referee didn't wipe the gloves down as well, which is unusual.
There's a big left hook from Jack Flatley, and if the gloves did touch the ground, then it should have been ruled a knockdown, and that could be decisive in this fight. We'll see the replay very shortly. A controversial moment in this one.
That'd be dispiriting for Flatley if it does indeed turn out to be a clean punch that caused the gloves to touch the canvas. And we're just waiting for the slow-mo to come here of that incident.
Yeah, and there's the big left hook, and his glove touched the ground there, didn't it? It looked from this angle like it did. We've got a couple more coming up.
Gloves touched the ground. It weren't the cleanest of punch, but a punch landed. It kind of landed around the back of his head. They almost hooked him to the ground the way Marvin Hagler was pulled down by roll down.
Yeah, and the reaction from Morris says a lot as well. He looked straight at the referee and shook his head.
Yeah, when we were looking right at Morris, right into his eyes, and there was no ill effects of what looked like a punch that may have sailed around the back of the head and just caused him to become off balance. So at the moment, it's looking like a good call from the referee, Steve Gray. And he may have also, the feet may have tangled together as well.
Plenty of encouragement for Jack Flatley. That's just what he needed going into the last 3 rounds of this one. Interesting to see if Flatley can capitalise on that now. It was a big left hook that he landed. Again, Morris landing that left hand down the middle. Good work from Flatley, and Morris coming back with the work of his own. And intriguing fight, this one. Don't know which way it's going to swing going into the last couple of rounds.
Flatley's managed to get his guard up a bit more, there's a bit more cohesion to his weight, but it's still, again, Morris just looks so comfortable in there with the way things are panning out at the moment.
Yeah, it seemed to give him a bit of encouragement that he can get the job done in there. Big left hook again from Flatley, and Morris coming back with a right hook to the body.
And as I said previously, at this point, Flatley just needs to bang that left hook. Whenever Morris gets close, just bang the left hook and see if it can open up for the right hand.
Yeah, and he's putting everything in those left hooks, Jack Flatley, and he's seeing the effect, but there's the left hand from Morris that he needed to be wary of.
I think that really had an effect on Flatley there. He's not got the wherewithal anymore to get up on his toes and bottoms or do anything different, so he just needs to, as we say, grit his teeth and just try and get through this.
And again, the jab getting through from Morris.
A bit better on the jab there from Flatley, but it's, at this point in the fight, I've got him only winning 2 of the rounds, so it's really tough for him on the cards if the judges are seeing the same thing.
Both men landing shots on the inside as well. A good round this for Flatley compared to the previous few.
Yeah, better round for Flatley. Landed a good right hand there in that exchange as well. We've not really seen too much of that punch from him in the previous rounds.
Yeah, and he's looking for that big left hook now, Jack Flatley. Nice right hand down the middle as well. Under a minute to go in this 8th round, 2 to come after this one. And what a fight this has been. You know, we thought we struggled to live up to the first English title fight of the evening. It certainly delivered this one. Both men are throwing so many punches in there at the moment.
Yeah, it's messy there along the ropes. No one really landed a clean shot until the final couple of exchanges.
And Flatley just buying himself a few seconds and landing a great shot down the middle. Snap the head back of Morris there.
Good body shot there from Flatley as well. This is the type of stuff he needs to do earlier in the fight.
Morris is still coming forward though, still throwing shots of his own. Now come towards the close of this 8th round. Another close one score. Interesting to see how the 3 scoring judges have got this one. Another replay coming up from that round, and you know, Flatley, he landed some good shots in that round, didn't he?
Yeah, he landed some better shots. Flatley, as I said earlier in the fight, he's reached the point now where he just has to dig in and throw those left hooks and right hands, because there's nothing really he can do to change things at the moment. He's elected to stand in close from pretty much earlier in the fight, and he's taken so many shots clean to the head that he must be feeling groggy now and finding it difficult just to adjust and think strategically.
Yeah, and the way the first couple of rounds went, I never thought we'd be at this point in the fight. What a huge effort this is from both men. Whatever happens from here, both men's stock has risen from this one.
So coming into the 9th round, I thought early in the fight, Morris looked a bit ragged, but now he's looking really smooth and calm. He's looking better in the start of this round, Morris, than he did in a couple of the earlier rounds where there were some more two-way exchanges.
Again, both men landing on the inside.
And the crowd have gone a bit silent over the course of this fight. They need to do the bit and start maybe making a bit of noise to rouse something in Flatley.
Yeah, it's going to take a huge effort from here. Well, Morris hasn't landed that straight left-handers regularly in the second half of the fight, but it's still there.
Yeah, he's not landed it as often. The problem for Flatley is when it does land, it's such an impressive-looking shot. It's going to stick in the mind of the judges at the end of each round.
A big shot again from Flatley. Both men are snapping their opponent's head back with those straight shots. It's been a huge effort, this, from both men.
Yeah, Flatley's tried the right hook inside a couple of times in this round. He's had a couple of moments of success with that.
Again, both men landing. It's so difficult to see who's coming out the better of these exchanges. And both men are landing big shots. Nice left up from Flatley.
Yeah, that was better from Flatley. As we said, he's basically dug in now. He knows he's in a dogfight, and he's just trying to try and grit it out for this last portion of the fight.
Under a minute to go, this penultimate round. English title on the line, and what has been an absolute war between both men. Lovely straight shot from Jack Flatley.
Yeah, I'm surprised after the punishment he took earlier on in the fight that Jack Flatley's still there, still landing the occasional really decent shot. I'd have thought with the left hand he was taking, he would have been tucked away by now.
A good straight shot again, and the gum shields come out of Craig Morris.
Yeah, Steve Graves just letting them get on with it, so they both exchanging. A good left up by Flatley.
And the timeout called for the gum shield, and Flatley was just starting to get a bit of momentum there, and we've seen Craig Morris be stopped late in a high drama fight before, and if Flatley's going to win it, he's surely going to need that.
And that being in the back of his mind, as you say, he's been stopped late before. He'll be coming into this next round thinking the same thing could happen again. So I think we might see Morris maybe box a bit more conservatively in the next round, thinking that he's got a points decision coming into view.
Yeah, and you said the crowd would need to get behind Jack Flatley, and they certainly have.
Yeah, I think he needed that. He was getting a bit too quiet. He just needed the crowd to rouse him.
Good end of the round that for Jack Flatley. 3 more minutes to go, and both men are going to put everything into this. What a night of boxing we've had on VIP Boxing.
As you see on the slow motion there, Flatley managed to land a little left up to the body, push Morris on the ropes. He should have been maybe investing to the body earlier on in the fight. It's a better round by Flatley. He had to give him a lot of himself to get into that round.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive effort, this. And you never know, this round could swing it. How have you got it going into the last?
I've got Morris winning going into the last round. I've got it 6 rounds to 3 so far, but I've arguably at least 2 of the rounds that I've given to Flatley could have gone the other way.
Intriguing to see how the 3 scoring judges have got this one as we go into the last round. Massive credit to both men. What a huge effort, what a war it's been. And you can see the urgency in both men as well. They're desperate to win this last round.
Yeah, I thought Morris might just tuck up, bearing in mind what happened to him in this the Fitzgerald fight, but he's come out and took the initiative.
Yeah, and you never know how the judges are going to score. It's a timeout called by Steve Gray, just warning both men about the heads in close. And again, they took no notice of that, and the heads crossed straight away afterwards, but neither man are going to be bothered about that.
I think the problem Flatley's got as well is that some of the rounds, if the judges gave him any of the more recent rounds, it might be because Morris wasn't landing with that left-hand as regularly as he was previously.
Yeah, both men landing big shots on the inside. Flatley coming out a little bit better in that exchange with the early shots he threw. And they're spoiling each other's work now, aren't they? We haven't seen that through the first 9 rounds of this one. Both men just rushing the work a little bit now.
Yeah, it's become very ragged in there, but you can understand both fighters are really tired. Both of them put a lot of effort into this fight.
Yeah, and it has been a massive effort, this. Oh, lovely work that from Jack Flatley. Yeah. Morris coming back with a big shot of his own as well.
Bit of a mini Ali shuffle from Flatley there. Didn't really need to do that. He should concentrate on his punching and not his footwork, but he just readjusted himself after landing those shots, but Morris came right back at him.
Halfway through the last round. Both men still on the front foot, still firing. And the crowd are getting right behind Jack Flatley here.
Yeah, the crowd know that they've got to G him up. Morris has got just over 1 minute away from a really, really good win for him.
It's going to be close either way on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, that's a lovely up from Morris there to end that exchange.
Nice right hand again over the top from Jack Flatley.
Yeah, the problem Flatley's had throughout the fight is when he does manage to get Morris to stand in exchange, Morris usually has the final word in those exchanges. And he's definitely having the final word in this fight. Morris is going to the last 50 seconds.
Yeah, Flatley just fired a right hand in to buy himself a few seconds. Left hook landed and Morris threw a left hook of his own. That one was low. Referee letting him get away with it. Huge effort from Flatley to put those punches together, and Morris responded well. Oh, good finishes from both men. Certainly leaving everything in that ring tonight as we go into the last 20 seconds. The crowd urging their man Jack Flatley on. Swelling round the eye now of Craig Morris. He won't be bothered about that.
I should say it's been a really good effort from both men. I think Morris has ended the fight as he started the latter half of the fight. He was really good tonight, Morris. I thought his left hand was a big feature of the fight, and I've got him winning the fight by 97 points to 93.
Yeah, and we'll see how the three's going. Judges have got it, but one thing for certain, what a massive effort from both men. They left everything in that ring tonight, and what pure entertainment that was from the first bell throughout. We didn't think they could keep that pace up for the whole 10 rounds, and they certainly managed to.
Yeah, I thought the pace was going to dip. It did dip slightly, but then they got it quite frenetic then towards the end. As you said, the final round was quite messy. I just thought Morris had the best punches of that final round. As we can see in the replay, it became quite a ragged affair towards the end, but I think Morris justifiably has done enough to take the title home with him tonight, and it would be a deserved win.
And you see the final highlights of this absolute war, and it's certainly a fight we'd like to see again.
Yeah, if it does turn out to be Morris's night, Flatley can go away, try and get a few wins to rebuild and maybe come back at it for another time, but he'd have to make, in my opinion, dramatic adjustments if he was going to beat this man. And
MC Michael Bass is just getting the scorecards from the British Boxing Board of Control officials here, and we'll have the result very shortly. It's always a horrible wait this after such a great fight like that, waiting for the scores to be added up.
Yeah, it's horrible for the fighters, for the fans as well. Kind of builds the anticipation. The longer the wait, the general thinking is that sometimes if there's a long wait for the scorecard to be tallied and totaled, they've been double checked if it's going to be close.
Just before we get the scorecards, next up for us, 8th of June, we're in Liverpool at the Olympia. Mason Cartwright headlining that one. Then after that, Doncaster Racecourse for Reece Moll's challenge for another English title on the VIP shows. That's the 22nd of June. But for now, MC Michael Pass has the scorecard in the ring. And in a moment, Steve Grail, pull both boxes together, and we'll get the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we render the decision, a round of applause for both guys. An overused term, but they did give it their all. Jack Flatley, Craig Morris.
Wait for both men to get their gloves off. Here we go, then the moment we've been waiting for.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of absorbing championship action, here are the judges' score totals. Judge Phil Edwards scores the contest 98-93. Judge Mark Lyson scores the contest 97-94. And Judge Terry O'Connor scores the contest 97-93. All three judges, by way of unanimous decision, the new English Super Welterweight champion, Bolton's very own Jack Flatley.
There we have it then, Jack Flatley's done it. Terry had Craig Morris off it. It's going to be a source of contention, that result.
And a gallant effort, ladies and gentlemen, from Craig Morris.
See how they managed to work that particular decision out. Flatley's going to be delighted with the win, however it comes. Alex Matvienko, in the past when I scored against him, used to accuse me of scoring while drunk, but that's definitely not the case tonight. I just saw a totally different fight from the three judges.
Has now presented the belt to the winner, the new champion, the Quiet Storm, Jack Flatley.
One thing for certain, you can't take anything away from Jack Flatley. The effort he put in tonight, he deserves that title. Feel sorry for Craig Morris, and he'll get his shot again, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think Morris will be despondent though after that fight. I mean, I'll go back and watch the fight again and maybe rescore it from TV, but here at ringside I thought that was a clear win from Morris. I couldn't really see how Flatley had got himself into the fight. As you say, Flatley will be delighted with the win, but I think Morris will be absolutely distraught and gutted, and maybe nights like this when fighters have a decision go against them like that, it really does test their resolve to continue within the sport.
And
ladies and gentlemen, a bit of a lull now for VIP Boxing. We shall see you next via VIPBoxing.tv from Liverpool on June the 8th. I'm off to Slovakia for the World Ice Hockey Championships. And next week, don't forget, Eurovision night. What a 2 weekends coming up.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.